Welcome back to Ruck and Roll, and man, am I excited about this one. Obviously, being a Springbok supporter, pretty excited about this one. And I'm curious to see when Rassie eventually, or I say Rassie, sorry, I mean Jock Nienaber and Rassie probably made the decision to say, look, it's time to start playing a few new guys in the team, and it's not like they haven't been doing it all along. But what I like is the fact, like a Willie Leroux that's been playing fullback all along in all the games. I don't know why. You've got a Willemse that he's tried to play on fly half that didn't work, and we know Willemse is actually a 15. That's where he should be playing. That I want to see. And just generally, Jean-Luc Depree that's been sitting on the bench all this time, a Dion Fourie that's been on the bench almost all this time, a Roos that hasn't had many runs. There's so many guys in this squad that hasn't had proper opportunities because, I don't know, I just didn't agree totally and wasn't aligned with the selection choices right through this build up to the World Cup. But let's see in this one what happens. Let's react to Springboks versus Argentina in Buenos Aires.
To reach 100 test caps, and what in it for the Springboks on Tuesday. Will come off the bench potentially for.
Don't even if I know if I should say anything about that silverware. It's I don't know if that means all that much.
Of opposition. So those are the things that the coaches will be looking at and seeing which kind of players can step up.
So here we go. I think this is also a French referee.
Cordero steps in at halfback. Lavanini into contact. Rugby World Cup here.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
just
bad.
Body positioning.
That's not nice to see ever.
Moody beats the
knocked
first.
out. Oh, Moody. Oh man, Moody's dangerous, man. Moody's seriously dangerous.
Thomas the toy.
And now Springboks working through some phases. I like that. That's 13 phases now.
Has a go himself. Pressure on the Argentine defense. Another penalty advantage waiting for the box.
There we go. Is this a try? No, it is held up. The Springboks getting the penalty there, and Manie Libbok missing it. How?
Visa
so
ready to go.
It's not even that far out.
Given Ruas waiting on the bench. Libbok.
Quick hands from the box.
Met in the tackle.
They clearly want to play and move the ball.
A great contest. Esterhuizen comes up, trumps with that ball.
Great
make the tackle.
Competing there in the air.
Away to Carreras.
Oh, and Moody stole that.
To the book.
Guys, these highlights are a bit tricky to react to.
Gonzalez at the back. Moroni involved, and Bertrano takes it in.
It jumps a bit, but yeah, it's the best I could get. Yeah.
Short line out. Mbonambi hits the money.
Already
taking it to the book.
You see the Springboks wanting to run from basically their own try line.
Montoya feeds, finds his man,
and the same for Argentina.
Visa.
12 minutes in.
Reinach, Libbok.
You see, definitely Manie Libbok at 10, bringing something else. You know, it's almost like the ball just flows a little bit better.
Carry once more. Montoya feeds. Difficult ball for Bertrand to deal with. The 22-meter line yet again.
There's a lot of highlights here that don't end up in anything, but yeah. Oh, quick hands.
My world is my storytelling. Our world.
It's always been a dream of mine.
I don't know what my career path is.
I want to change the perception of
Thomas the toy.
Oh, quick hands here, getting that hand out, getting that ball out to Moody.
For a launch at the post.
Moody hasn't done anything wrong today. He's just been playing outstanding. Manie Libbok putting that through, so Springboks with the first points on the board.
For South Africa. It's straight onto the boot. Reinach running onto it, but Bertrano in precisely the same.
Tough to react to these highlights. Trying my best to see. I did watch the game, guys, so I'll give my breakdown on halftime. Oh, and now Argentina in a really good position.
Montoya to Gallo. No. Here he comes.
Catch the Springboks napping there. Guys, that was so quick going through those highlights, but you could clearly see the quick tap. When you watch the game at first, I thought that's unfair. They didn't give them a proper chance to reset. But it's really the Springboks. You can take the quick tap, and the Springboks was caught napping. Also, at this point in time, they don't show all of this, but the Springboks had lost a few lineouts. Not playing outstanding rugby, but not playing too poorly, because as soon as the backs seem to be getting the ball, they seem to be having some freedom to get it through the hands and get it out to the wingers, which is it's good looking rugby from the Springboks. And when they get it right, and I think they're getting it right with the Argentines, then it looks really good. It looks promising. Let's put it that way. Let's keep watching.
With test points.
Fairly loads of experience, and now Argentina ahead.
He makes
What's that?
10-3.
10-3.
Right, goes left.
7-3.
After this is Mapimpi.
So Fairly must have missed.
From
No,
behind
he
the
did
gate.
put it
Matera,
through.
he releases
7-3, yeah.
to save himself from Bunambi, who's not that long, and Libok feeds Esterhazen.
Oh, Esterhazen coming in hard.
Plays a narrow blind side for them, sir. Mali Libok with his second attempt.
Libok missing
This
again.
one further, so much territorial pressure.
And that's why we got to play
Springboks
Libok.
so
Got to
far in
play
this
him
match,
enough
but
so that he can start putting these kicks through.
Reinach to
He's
the
not been kicking enough to the posts
performance at the World Cup coming
because of
up.
experimenting, unnecessary
They've always stepped up at the World Cup.
You. Honest with me. Yeah, honest with me and you.
For the Springbok side, does Willemse. Only attended the last Rugby World Cup.
And some argy-bargy there. You always know if the Springboks are playing, there's a possibility for a little bit
The
of
line out
argy-bargy.
perfect. Wow.
Was infuriated.
Fairly.
Fairly. The squad to marshal the lineup.
I wonder what Reinach had to say to him.
Montoya to Lavanini at line out time. He lines it up
That's a man of kick.
and he knocks it up.
And
Pumas.
Fairly is really, really instrumental for Argentina, and
crowd
very well done by
goes out.
Argentina at this
Celebrate
point, you know,
with the opposition.
being so far ahead
Make a mistake
already.
and give them a window of
38
opportunity to
minutes
snatch
into
it
this
away.
game, and I mean, being 10-3 ahead,
Montoya feeds.
crazy.
Jumper disrupted him from the Springboks away from Gonzalez. Bertranu to Carreras. Kobani, an interest.
Guys, let me just give my halftime commentary on this. I watched the game and I can tell you that this is not been the best first half from the Springboks. Mani Libok missed 2 kicks there that you can see that could have put the Springboks with 6 on the board, and it wasn't the hardest kicks in my opinion. He missed those. There was some issues in the lineouts, and it's just, you can again see a totally new team on the field, all new guys. Yes, it's been tough, but there's been moments of brilliance. Kanan Moody's having an amazing game. Willemse at fullback has been nice to see, more kind of like a running type brand. And obviously Libok is also much more of a front foot running type fly off. And you've seen those moments of brilliance with the back line coming through a lot. But the Springboks definitely playing much more of a running type game versus Argentina today. And somehow it kind of looks like it can pull off with time. I do not think the Springboks is out of this game at halftime, just because if you look at the game, you can see that the Springboks have kind of been their own enemy in this game so far. Not that I'm saying Argentina's playing badly. I mean, look how full that stadium is. They've been performing well. Buffelli's having a great game. And Karevi, his 100th test for Argentina. So a lot to play for these guys. But I just don't think Argentina's been all over the Springboks, although the scoreline looks like it. But anyway, let's get into the second half.
Interesting first half, to say the very least. South Africa, with only second half begins.
Here's a kickoff.
Estadio Jose Amalfitani in Buenos Aires. Thomas Dutoy.
South Africa now with the ball.
Out the dummy runners. Creel with the
Oh.
offload to Willemse. Willemse hits Mapimpi on the outside.
Willemse breaking the line there. And it's really a pity that these highlights jump so quickly through it. I know obviously why, for copyright reasons, it makes sense. But Yeah, that there was a pretty good try, where Willemse had a line break and then sent Mapimpi for the try, but it was a lovely try. And as much as people want to say, oh, you know, Willie Leroux try assist the most ever and all of that, and yes, he, you know, commands the back line there. Sometimes I wonder how much Willie Leroux creates tension in the back line instead of playing more, fighting more. And then I also have to ask that, I'm not saying Willie mustn't go, I'm not bad-mouthing Willie Leroux, but I'm just asking these questions. You see Willemse on 15 today, and there's almost just a bit more pace. It's like he injects pace into that back line. And you know, he creates corner, he almost does what a Barrett does well for the All Blacks. And in my opinion, I like him at 15. He would be my number one choice for 15, for especially the games where the Springboks want to play more of a type running type brand rugby. The more tighter type games, that's I think when you need a Willie Leroux and a Pollard. But I like a Libbok and Willemse for the more expansive type game that Springboks want to play. And I think there's a place for the Springboks to play both. And I hope they know they can play both at the World Cup. If they pick their sides right, they can play both type games for the World Cup, because they've got a lot of more running type players, and then they've got their more kind of kicking type players, and you know, yeah. But anyway, let's get back into it.
Great kick this time
for the Springboks.
There they show it again.
But good work,
but just the last
good presentation of ball presentation.
Beautiful break from Willemse.
Santiago Carreras with the restart, well taken in. Of course,
now 10-10, 45 minutes in, and now the Springboks, you feel, starts clawing themselves back into this game.
Yeah, you can see the
now starting to break some of those, win some of those jackals. Oh, what a try is that. Monty Libbok basically doing the cross kick. Let's see if they're going to show it again. To Moody. There you go. Moody
keeping his whip.
Moody just not putting a foot wrong in this game. And you know, if you want to talk about a guy that's really good in the air, catching balls out of the air, Moody is one of the best at that. Apart from all his pace, he's so good for the cross kick. And if Marnie can start finding his wingers more, there could be trouble. I would be so disappointed if this guy doesn't go to the World Cup, because he might be out of the mix, because I don't know if they rather want to put him a Pimpy, take him a Pimpy. We know Aronson, Colby will go. Who's going to be the wingers? I really hope Moody's going, because Moody really has made a statement in this game, and that's the one guy that stood out so far, by far the most. Is everything that he's done has just been superb.
Moody with the man in the sin bin.
Jean Libbok. A contestable kick this. Makazola Mapimpi after
I like to see a bit
keeps his
of
eye
up
on
and unders, but it wasn't
the man
competitive enough. It was too deep there.
The Rugby Championship.
Argentina, Dion Ferry looking for a snatch. Great run there from
Argentina coming
Cindy.
back into this game. Springboks ahead 15-10
Here's
now.
Bertrano, try scorer for Argentina.
I think the way your clearance are coming. Okay, thank you very much. Of course you can.
To every time he's been challenged and he's taken response. That is important for.
So now it's
Underneath the
two-point
ball.
game again.
Replacement for Argentina, Facunda Issa.
Got onto it, Willemse.
We see most of the reserves have been brought up early in this game to give them a fair game for the last game before they make their selection.
Monambi tackle from
So you
John
can see
Clay. Now
a lot of the
Visser
reserves
had
are
to
up now, which is good to see all these guys get a run.
He's hooked that one to the left.
I mean, another kick missed by Mani Libbok, and that is worrying. You know, the kicking of Libbok missing so much. You can't afford this right before a World Cup.
Giant Cheese playing his first match in a year since a loss to the All Blacks.
And Krill looking for some
Bertrand
space there.
Sets it free. Gomez Cordella on
It's
the carry.
a
rising
very
high, and Willemse
slow game to me this, where
done
I
himself
feel
a mischief as a
both
result.
teams
Oh,
playing
big
a
hit
lot
in
of
the midfield.
phases and just
a knee
being
on knee
patient.
clash for Damien Willemse.
Sure. Carry on, please.
Oh, I'm getting the penalty.
Mani
And now Mani Libbok
Here's
getting into his
Carreras,
own and
goes
putting
central
a
again.
mammoth kick
Jesse Creel
through
this
there.
time. Underneath the ball with another
And now
quality
can
line-out from
Argentina do
Montoya.
something here? The counter maul, great from the Springboks, and they couldn't go
Bertrand
anywhere.
himself was ready to give up on that. Gonzalez into the...
Herschel and Manili Bach adding on the pressure onto the tackle.
Good work there by Springboks.
Makes the tackle on Carreras. Half a chance here for Argentina on the outside, but not when
Good
Jesse
defense by Jess from
Defensive
Jesse
intensity of
Fielder.
South Africa has not dissipated in the second half.
10-meter line.
The Springboks
Just from the
backline
defensive
defense
effort,
seems to be
players not
pretty good in this game.
A lot of changes in both packs.
Oh, and now the
Springboks
Springboks scrum starting to get to their own.
Lebok.
You see Lebok with a
He's got
little...
that sauce.
He's got that
keeping
sauce.
everyone honest here.
Little
Moody does
dab
well to
on.
retain the ball in
Look
field,
how good they're again
which
by
is key.
Moody. Keep that ball alive. And Lebok for another monster kick.
Lebok.
And he puts it through. So Lebok really
Given
just
the
needs
Ross
time in that
underneath the
position
ball.
to kick enough.
Taking it
And I think
confidently.
he's the right guy.
Benjamin picks up the loose
how
ball.
did that
Beats
pop out?
Carreras. Lebok there
Beautiful
on the cover.
defense though by the
Will initiate
Springboks.
the counter attack, backing himself
Oh,
to get
look at
around
that tackle
Moody.
from Moody.
There's no way around there. Moody makes
Springboks scrum's looking good now. Springboks looking very good. in the
pressure
scrums.
coming too
And
early.
you're starting to feel now the Springboks with the upfront power starting to take control of this game.
Mani
Lebok starting to put his
today.
kicks through,
Buenos
and it's all
Aires
just
born
game
number 2.
time.
And
Because
onto
these
the
guys
field
are all
now.
new in every game, so just
By 11 points
why
and
I'm
watching
saying
South
we
Africa
need to start
attack
playing the
in
same
wave after
team
wave. Jesse
every
Kriel.
game. It's needed for the Springbok
Hold
team.
up, hold up. He's going. Move the ball.
Lautaro Dweba
Advantage.
feeds Mostert. Another penalty advantage to South
Penalty
Africa.
again for
Here's
South
Jantjies.
Africa.
The second wave is Roos. Looking for a weak shoulder.
Knocked on there.
Untimely injury disruptions. Roos.
He's committed. Timing's fine.
Now
He
76
would love to
minutes
find
in,
himself in
and
front.
South
Delicate
Africa
stuff
still
from
looking
Valenza
for another
and
try.
Klein.
No hands.
Trying to clear space. Lebok
Oh,
with the cross
another
kick
clever
again
kick
for
from
Keenan
Lebok.
Moody.
This time
The bounce
not
no
working
good.
for him.
from Manili Bach going low.
Bazan Velez. Dweba.
And now
Look how much
Springboks
ground
with
they've
another
made as a
opportunity.
result.
78
Roos,
minutes
the
in.
next man up. Line out. Albonos sends it wide. Great
couldn't
link
score
up from
there.
Argentina. Cordero to the outside, but the for Los Pumas. Disruption this time. Lebok.
does,
34 points to
and-
30.
Springboks winning 24-13, guys. What's my opinion at the end of the game? I think from nothing outstanding. Don't get me wrong. Scotland is the winner of most outstanding team by far for me this week. Not even the great. All Blacks did okay, but not the greatest. Ireland wasn't that impressive. England was disappointing. Wales was pretty decent. I thought they didn't do too badly. They looking rather decent. But as for the Springboks, I wouldn't say it's. I was worried that they might lose at Buenos Aires just because of so many changes. But what I liked that you could see in the first half they were struggling. But what I liked about the second half from the Springboks is you could see Mani started getting his kicking right, which is a very important thing. He started getting those kicks over, which is positive towards the end of the game because it's something Springboks need to keep playing the same players so that Mani can kick enough so that he's ready for a World Cup. And yeah, just generally, I think the team just started finding each other, gelling more. Line out started getting better. Suddenly, the scrums with time, you could see that they start improving in the scrums, getting stronger and dominating the set piece a lot more. And you could start feeling, this is more confident type Springbok rugby towards the end, which is very important. And I all that I can hope from Jacques Nienaber and the team is to say, from here onwards, we start building at a foundation of players. You can play around with some substitutes and stuff, but start keeping a Mani Lebok on the field and play your fuff if you have to, or who you're going to play online, you decide. Let's start building on foundations of a team. In my opinion, I think at the moment, Andre Esterhuizen is playing a better game than Adili Lindy. Adili Lindy's form is off a bit. So he had a good game, Esterhuizen, pretty decent. Kriel didn't have a bad game. He's great to be a utility back. I would take him because Kriel's actually in decent form. Willemse 15 was brilliant. And then in the front pack, generally a decent performance by all the forwards, risk getting that try in the end. And John Luke had a good run. Fourie was all over. He was busy. All in all, a good performance by all the forwards. I wouldn't say anyone stood out tremendously to me. Visa was kind of average in a way. So from the forwards, no one really stood out to me. They did their job more towards the end, especially of the game. But definitely some guys putting their hands up in the back line, and it will be interesting to see now. And I will hopefully still be able to get a video out for the Springboks and for the All Blacks, who I think they will be taking to the World Cup, hopefully before they announce it. Anyway, if I don't, then we will discuss it anyway when it's been announced. I'll thank you guys, like always, for watching my videos. Hit the subscribe button below if you haven't. We're aiming for 1,000 subscriber mark. Thanks so much. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good weekend. Bye.